welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. It's Saturday night. I am back again. I'm a little bit late. Had plans earlier this evening, and I was a little bit tired, so that explains that. I'm going to try to make this quick because Beauty and the Boomers on. I don't want to take too much time away from them. Competition and the Matrix and all of that, and of course later on, the Secret Show with Uncle Warren and Jimmy. And that was a good show Jimmy and I did last night, yesterday evening, at 5. Jimi Sunderland and myself, we have a new show called Braggland, and I hope that y'all will be there every Friday evening at 5 p.m. to watch us as well. So we can grow that particular channel as well. And if any of y'all haven't done this yet, try to create your own platform and do this. It's pretty fun. It really is. Shout out to Comrade Kitty. As I said, we're going to do this as quickly as I can, so it won't interrupt Beauty and the Boomer too bad. So my apologies. And so anyway, and a shout out to Miguel. How are you doing today? Yes. As I said, we're going to get underway, and so I wanted to talk about what something that I've been meaning to talk about for a while. And as you all know, I'm for Cornel West for president. No ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, I was planning to not vote in 2024 because I've been so let down with the Bernie Sanders campaign, particularly in 2020, considering how quickly he bent the knee and how significantly less radical he was in 2020, sounding more like an edgier Democrat or a less shitty Democrat than the others. And little by little, I've kind of been losing more patience with Bernie. I'm not like, screw him 100%, but I just don't put too much stock into, he's not the big deal he was at one time. He's just not the radical. I know people need I know people mellow or adjust to what is called new realities, but I felt like that Bernie Sanders acquiesced and bent the knee too quickly, and if he keeps doing that, the radicalism that his radicalism is disappearing. What made it appealing, and his radicalism isn't even all that radical by American political. By other nation standards. In the United States, I guess if you think like Bernie Sanders, you're a tanky to the average American, those that know what a tanky is. That's where we stand here in the United States. So, I would like to start off with this meme that I created myself. I create memes too, So I think that this meme pretty much says it all. And let's go ahead and let's find that meme that I put up here, and you can see where I'm coming from with this. Hold on, and it got removed. Okay, but I added it right back up there. Okay, here it is right now, and where is it? Okay, and it says, in 2016, Hillary Clinton denounces Bernie bros and demand their support anyway. When Bernie Sanders criticized the dirtbag leftists who once supported him, he became that problem he stood against in 2016. Get over it, Bernie. I will vote for Cornel West anyway. And so, and that's kind of where I'm at. He became the very problem that he was against in 2016 when he ran. And it's obvious why he's doing that. He doesn't want to be the next Ralph Nader. I mean, that, and I think it's a well-known secret that describes Bernie Sanders to a T. So, what makes me angry is how he's just kind of been just bashing his former supporters. I mean, you know, and what I want to do is I want to play you just a little bit of how Bernie Sanders used to be, a little taste of what was Bernie Sanders. And now he's, you know, this is him. And he wasn't even all that radical. He kind of started losing his radical edge by 2016, but he was a hell of a lot better than what he is today. And here's a clip from Glenn Greenwald, where he's displaying how radical Bernie Sanders was in the past. Hold tight here.
The Wall Street bailout, where some of your friends destroyed this economy.
You know,
excuse me, I'm talking.
let him sprung.
I said, let the billionaires themselves bail out Wall Street. Shouldn't be the middle class of this country.
I mean, that was the campaign. The campaign was, we don't have minor policy difference of the Democratic Party. What we have is a Democratic Party establishment that is fundamentally and radically corrupted. We know from the most stalwart Democrats that the Democratic Party cheated to ensure that Bernie Sanders could not win that primary, even if the most Democrats voted for him. And instead of saying, I am not going to associate myself with that party because there's no possibility of working within it to win, most of the Bernie AOC left submitted to the party.
If you are talking about the wall.
And where is the lie in that? Where's the freaking lie in that? There is no freaking lie in that. That's exactly what's happened. I mean, and in roughly that same video, if you watch it all the way through, the longer version of it, he talks about, Glenn Greenwald talks about how Bernie Sanders and AOC, the very tool that the Democratic establishment hates, they use that tool in Bernie Sanders and AOC to basically sheep herd radicals and that energy back into the Democratic Party. Now, I felt like that Bernie Sanders, maybe still feel like the Bernie Sanders, that was not necessarily his intention. I'm going to give him a little wiggle room, but I certainly am not going to go in and say, I mean, he's not, I mean, Ralph Nader is a hell of a lot of a better man than Bernie Sanders, the very person he doesn't want to be like, you know, and be associated with, a person that he's not returned a phone call since the year 2000. I found this out. Bernie Sanders has not talked to Ralph Nader since the year 2000 because he doesn't want to be like Ralph Nader. Now, fast forward this to the year 2018 when George W. Bush got rehabilitated. Jimmy Dore said that liberals hated Ralph Nader because he supposedly gave us George W. Bush. Now that George W. Bush is loved by the liberals, a lot of these same liberals hate Ralph Nader still. They love George W. Bush, and they still hate Ralph Nader. Now, that's where we're at. Now, not that Bernie Sanders is like those liberals in terms of policy, but he's kind of joined those people in that mindset. And that's not what the movement was supposed to be about. The movement was supposed to be about taking these shit libs and making them our enemy. I do not want to be friends with these corporate Democrats any more than I want to be friends with Marjorie Taylor Greene or Kevin McCarthy or even fucking Mitt Romney, okay? I mean, that's what it comes down to. They're all your enemy. They're all your enemy. Every last fucking one of these folks. And Bernie, what are you doing? And then you're going to sit there and browbeat us about supporting Cornel West? Cornel West is closer to you ideologically than fucking Joe Biden, who's closer to Donald Trump. And you know that, Bernie. You know that, Bernie. Honestly. I mean, 20 years ago, I never thought I'd be raising my voice this way to Bernie. I mean, we never met, but my point being that I never thought that I'd be this angry with Bernie. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a comedic take from Turncoat Don. And I think everybody knows who Turncoat Don is. But if you haven't found out who Turncoat Don is, please follow him on Twitter or on YouTube. He makes fun of shit lives the way they need to be made fun of. And here he is. He's making fun of Crystal Ball in the year 2023 with, words for violence.
The only thing that Cornel West, Dr. West, who I love, admire, respect, whose politics I almost wholly and completely share, I think effectively the only thing that his campaign will accomplish is, number one, helping to reelect Donald Trump, and number two, hurting the left.
I will never allow myself to be put in a situation where my only two real presidential choices are basically shoot me or stab me. You're not going to tell me or anyone else that we now have to vote for that person. It's so clear now that the whole vote blue no matter who line is a total con job designed to quash any dissent so that they can fully shove any neoliberal corporatist nonsense down our throats, whether it's Jamie Dimon or trashing Medicare for all or standard issue warmongering foreign policy. We're supposed to just accept it all because at least it's not Donald Trump. The responsibility is placed wholly on the voters to suck it up and vote Joe. I'm not buying it. Because the policies and the critical importance of centering the working class isn't just some branding exercise or cosplay for me. I actually care about it. I'm willing to fight for it. The moment that we all say, don't worry, Joe, we're all going to back you up, is the moment that the establishment sees they can do whatever they want to us and sell out the working class for all eternity, and we're just going to take it. Think about this. Why do these freaking never-Trumpers and conservative Democrats have so much power? It's because they're constantly threatening to vote for the other team. We have to bend over backwards to keep them from wandering. But the left? No, we can spit in their face, and they've still got to show up. Because Mitt Romney or Donald Trump or Josh Hawley or whoever is just too bad to contemplate the alternative. And by the way, if the corporatists lose again anyway, after we all suck it up and vote Joe, they're still going to blame us. Well, I'm, for one, not in the mood to play along. Go ahead and try to win without this movement, because most people aren't interested in voting for candidates who treat them like crap and view them with utter contempt.
Yes, Turncoat Don. I highly recommend Turncoat Don. I will, when I'm doing the editing of the description box, I will put him down as a link, his YouTube and Twitter link down. It's not X, it's Twitter as far as I'm concerned. The hell with Elon Musk's X. So anyway, I want to go and give a shout out to California Fools. How are you doing today? I want to give out shout out to Around the World with D and Friends. And I put your interview just recently on Rumble. I finally got the hang of Rumble, and I see Warren on the chat line. I want to say hello to Warren. So hello, Warren. And I see Daniel Berry Sports and Highlights. How are you doing, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights? So right now, and I see Snipe Hunter. Yeah, that is Eminem's wife. So anyway, and speaking of Eminem, as I said, Kyle used to be one of my favorites. He really used to be one of my favorites, honestly, and he's gone downhill. I mean, his only saving grace is he was there for Force to Vote. He was there to shout out for Force to Vote and to support the Medicare for All marches. I'm not going to take that away from him. But after that, the last several years, he just became a vote blue no matter who a follower. I just don't like that aspect of Kyle, how he's kind of folding into the TYT basically gatekeepers of independent media. I mean, how much he's fallen downhill since then. Since the last 2 years, it just gotten progressively. I hardly watch his program anymore. So, but here's one of his videos here, and he's going to call out Cornel West, and I got something to say about that. Okay, Kyle, take it away. Come on, Dime Store Eminem.
on CNN a few days ago, and he was asked by Dana Bashir about Cornel West's run for president. He's, of course, running. He was originally going to run as the People's Party candidate. Now he's running as a Green Party candidate. He, of course, has to get through the primary first before he actually is the Green Party candidate. But I don't know. It looks like behind the scenes they're actually dotting their I's and crossing their T's, and he's likely to get that Green Party nomination, to say the least. So the reason why they're asking Bernie about this is because Cornel West was actually a big part of Bernie's campaigns in both 2016 and 2020. So on CNN a few days ago, and he was asked by Dana Bashir about Cornel West's run for president. He's, of course, running. He was originally going to run as the People's Party candidate. Now he's running as a Green Party candidate. He, of course, has to get through the primary first before he actually is the Green Party candidate. But I don't know. It looks like behind the scenes they're actually dotting their I's and crossing their T's, and he's likely to get that Green Party nomination, to say the least. So the reason why they're asking Bernie about this is because Cornel West was actually a big part of Bernie's campaigns in both 2016 and 2020. So let's dive into his answer, and then we'll react to it.
Cornel West, who is a close ally of yours, he is running a third-party campaign for president. He recently criticized you for endorsing President Biden's reelection. Listen to what he said.
I love the brother, and you know, even in love, people have deep disagreements about these things. But I think, again, he's fearful of the neo-fascism of Trump.
Let me just say, I actually think that's a fair summation from Cornel West. In other words, he's not making the incredibly stupid argument of like, oh, Bernie's just corrupt. No, he's saying, I think Bernie is genuinely fearful of what he calls the neo-fascism of Donald Trump. And so he feels like this is the only way to really defeat him. So that's why, you know, he's supporting Biden. So just like credit to Cornel West there for not taking a cheap and factually incorrect shot and actually accurately categorizing what Bernie's position is. Okay, let's continue.
He's fearful of the neo-fascism of Trump. People look at Biden, they don't really want to tell the full truth. He's created the best economy that we can get. Is this the best that we can get? You're going to tell that lie to the people just for Biden to win?
Cornel's correct. He's correct about that. That you can't just, it's not true to be like, well, actually, everything's great. Inflation is down, unemployment is down. Therefore, those are the only two metrics in the world and nobody look under the hood at all. Because then, of course, when you do that, you find out all these studies that say that, like, the majority of Americans can't afford a $500 or $1,000 emergency payment. And you realize that these, the way that we measure, the criteria we use to determine the health of the economy, it's like just really, really weak criteria. Because there's a million different data points that say, actually, people are really struggling. So, look, he's factually right on that part. But anyway, let's hear Bernie's reaction.
Well, my reaction is that certainly it's not the best economy that we can create. That was what my speech was about yesterday. We've got to join the rest of the industrialized world, guarantee health care to all. We've got to cut the cost of prescription drugs in half. We've got to raise the minimum wage to at least $17 an hour. We've got to build the affordable housing we desperately need. But where I disagree with my good friend, Cornel West, is I think in these really very difficult times where there is...
And Bernie, here's the thing. You're right. Rhetorically, you're always correct, even now. But what do? You go around telling everybody what a good friend Joe Biden is to you. None of us think that Joe Biden is our good friend. We never met the guy. It is true what they said about Joe Biden being, what I've heard about Joe Biden. It is true back in his day when he was a senator that apparently people from both parties from across the spectrum apparently found him charming and likable, what have you. And I guess he is less hateful than Hillary. Even now, I would say that. But you know what? Like Kyle would say, I hate to paraphrase him at this point, policy. It's not about your personal feelings toward Joe Biden. I'm sure he's probably a nice person in person. I don't give a flying fuck how nice he is in person. I'm sure there are some of these Republican scumbags in Congress. I'm sure some of them are nice in person too. Some of them. But again, their policies are destructive. And you defending Joe Biden is kind of making you an accomplice, Bernie. I in a way, I don't. You didn't really have to say anything, Bernie. I mean, you're going to go and support your good friend, Joe Biden. And even as a matter of fact, I'm endorsing Joe Biden, but you don't go and out attack Cornel West after he campaigned for you in 2016 and 2020. You just kind of threw him under the bus with this. And I tell you, Cornel West is a way better human being than I could ever be, because I would just feel so much more resentment than I am right now for what you have done to this man. I mean, it's you really have disappointed me, Bernie. This is really where you have disappointed me the most since I've been following you since 1990.
There is a real question whether the democracy is going to remain in the United States of America. Donald Trump is not somebody who believes in democracy. Whether women are going to be able to
Joe Biden doesn't believe in democracy either.
Whether we have social justice in America, we end bigotry. Around that, I think we've got to bring the entire progressive community to defeat Trump, or whether the Republican nominee will be, support Biden, but at the same time, which is what I did yesterday, is demand that the Democratic Party, not just Biden, have the guts to take on corporate greed and the massive levels of income and wealth inequality that we see today.
Okay. Yeah. Is Donald Trump great for democracy? He's just as good for democracy as Joe Biden, which means not really particularly all that great. Ron DeSantis is probably more dangerous to democracy than Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I mean, Joe Biden is the status quo, and even some of the dumb shit that Donald Trump might want to do, the courts would tie it down. There's going to be people, even some Republicans will call out Trump on some of his bullshittery. The resistance, even there are times where the resistance may be going hyperbolic unnecessarily with their Trump derangement syndrome. But there are some areas where their fears are valid, and there will be a whole lot of chaos that would prevent Donald Trump from doing anything too authoritarian. Even if he wanted to, and some of it is kind of overblown, by the way. Some of it is overblown by shit libs and never Trumpers. They made a bigger boogeyman out of somebody that's probably not as big of a boogeyman that's actually, I mean, the guy is a bullshitter. He doesn't believe in anything. Donald Trump is a grifter. He's the motherfucker of all grifters. He doesn't believe in hardly a goddamn thing that comes out of his mouth when it comes to the right-wing rhetoric or the liberal rhetoric of his past. I mean, he's kind of all over the place. And sometimes his moderate, even now, some of his moderate tendencies will bloom out occasionally, which is kind of funny because the right wing will get a little upset when that happens. Really weird.
Look, here's the problem with what he's saying. Bernie, we're not even in the general election yet. We're in a primary. And you're already doing the whole, like, Biden's the only option, fall in line and support Biden. Well, look, by that logic, you eliminate your own campaign in 2016 and 2020. This is what people said about you in 2016 and 2020, even during the Democratic primary. The argument was like, look, we can't mess around. Donald Trump is super dangerous. We can't roll the dice on something that's untested. So therefore, go with the safe candidate in Hillary Clinton. Go with the safe candidate in Joe Biden. These were the exact arguments that were used against Bernie Sanders. And now he's using those same, he's bought into the logic of the corporate Democrats on this point. Now, understand something.
Okay, Kyle. Now, here's my message to you. You kind of make sense there. But here's where my problem is with what you're saying. You support Marianne Williamson in 2024 for this year. And I'm not calling you out negatively for doing that. That's a better choice than Joe Biden. And I'm not calling you out on that. But remember this. You supported Bernie in 2020. You supported Bernie in 2016. You know what they did to Bernie Sanders in 2016 and 2020. You know what they're doing to Robert Kennedy. And you know what they're doing to Marianne Williamson right now by not having a primary. And you know that the hatchet job that they're doing against Cornel West, attacking his character, is just an extension of what they do to basically insurgent Democrats inside Democratic primaries. Their aim is to basically destroy anything that smacks of what they call the left. They've been doing this since the days of George McGovern, little by little. And this is the latest in-your-face reiteration of this. So this is all the more reason why you have to support Cornel West. You know damn well, we know that you and Crystal are going to vote for Joe Biden, and really sad because 2020 Kyle boycotted the 20 election, and now you become a unofficial Biden bro. I've heard some of the things you said about Biden being base here and base there, and occasionally you just kind of want to make an excuse to like Biden, and you've been going overboard on how much you hate Trump. Which, hey, you never supported his policies, neither did I. But one of the things I did respect about you is you realized what a bullshit con artist and a showman Trump was, and that the never Trumpers on the shit lib side were hyperbolic and silly. And now you sound like a pussy hat wearing moron from 2016 and 2017, Kyle. You know, I guess the blonde hair is now symbolic. It's not a pussy hat, but it's an Eminem look. No offense to Eminem fans out there, by the way. But my point is, Kyle, you lost your way. And you're going to end up voting for Joe Biden at the end of the day. So it's kind of hard to take you seriously there. So, D, I have actually voted Green Party most of the time in the last 30 years. I voted Green Party, Socialist Party. I voted Libertarian in one election, because my choices were that limited. But here's another thing. Right now, there is a young kid. He's kind of like Brooklyn Dad Defiant, but like as a what you call those people, Generation Z. His name is Harry Simpson. This smug little moron here. This kid that goes on about he's riding with Biden and he just thinks that Biden is so awesome and everything. Look at this kid. Look at this motherfucking 20-year-old snot-nosed know-it-all kid. I mean, this kid with that smirk on his face, he is such a bullshitter. This kid is a bullshitter. And I wonder how much money he's being paid to sound like such a bullshitter. I mean, gosh, that kid. There's a better picture to describe that kid. And I saw this on a shout out to, let's see, let me find it. Shout out to David Moss on Twitter. It's not X, it's Twitter. Shout out. This is what I think of when I think of that stupid kid right there. They're hanging out with Joe Biden. Yeah. Oh, good Lord. You know, Biden. Good gracious, control yourself. Oh, good Lord, that's terrible. That is terrible. Anyway, so what I want to do next is I want to play from Harlan's Media, Kit Cabello talking about Breonna Joy Gray and Harry Simpson, and his take on that. So let's see. Let me find that. I think this is it. Yep, that is it right there. Okay. All right. Okay. And let's go ahead and play that, and I'll share my words momentarily. Come on.
Gen Z, listen, you cannot have this person speak for you, because then you have this big brain genius, Harry, saying, how much does Cornel West owe in unpaid child support? Oh, Harry, you goof troop. And Breonna Joy Gray responds back. This is quite a spicy comment. Knowing the DNC is paying know-nothing Zennials. By the way, Gen Z, listen. It's too late for the boomers, Gen Xers, and millennials, but don't be entrapped by the Democratic Party. Gen Z, listen. Look at what they've done to us. Look at what they've done to generations before. They're going to do the same thing to you, too. You can't have little Harry speaking for you, because it's bad news bears. Just trust me on it, Gen Z, okay? Just giving you a heads up. Here's a hint. The Democrats will screw you up the wazoo. Just throwing it out there. And again, knowing the DNC is paying no-nothing zennials to act like Dr. West has bigger tax problems than the Biden family is just one reason I look forward to voting Green next year, which is why I'm going to vote Green Party too. And by the way, again, probably some vote blue no matter who. People be like, well, we're going to make sure that third parties can't be on the ballot. We're going to stop Dr. Cornel West. Well, if you stop Dr. Cornel West, guess what I'm going to do?
Yeah, and Kickabella is right, because in North Carolina last year, the Green Party were temporarily taken off the ballot because the Democrats, not the Republicans, the Democrats in the Board of Elections voted in their little panel 3-2 to take the Green Party off the ballot. But they were able to get right back on the ballot again, and I was able to vote for my Green Party candidate, Matthew Ho, in November. And I would do it again and again and again, by the way, as I have done in the past. And all the motherfuckers that got on me about voting for Jill Stein in 2016, my message to everybody, I would do it again and again and again and again. I've been voting third party since 1996. I have not voted for a major party candidate for president since 1992. Okay.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to vote Libertarian. If I can't vote Libertarian, I'll vote Independent. If I can't vote Independent, I'm going to write somebody's name in. And if I can't write somebody's name in, I'm going to leave the option of voting for president blank. So no matter what happens, vote blue no matter who. And I'm only speaking for myself. My audience, you guys and gals, can do your own thing. You're not going to get my vote. Okay? You said yourselves you don't need me. So you're not going to get my vote. Simple. That's just simple as that. And if you're saying I'm helping out Trump, I don't care. Because honestly, I want to see another vote blue no matter who meltdown. I'm going to cook myself a nice ribeye steak, have plenty of good side dishes, a glass of wine, a good glass of whiskey. I might smoke a bowl too because I am going to be eating it up. I just want to see the vote blue no matter who people cry. I want to see them cry.
You know, think about it this. Throughout my life, I love trolling right-wingers. I love trolling right-wingers all my life. I still enjoy trolling right-wingers. But there is a part of me that loves to troll shit libs too. Because they are so reprehensible. They're just so hateful, these shit libs. They're just so, they don't get it. They repeat the same shit over and over again. And their attitude toward the left is, we don't like you, we don't need you, we don't want you, but you better support us anyway. And if you don't support us and our Democrat lose, we're going to blame you and we're going to make you feel like shit. But if the Democrat wins anyway, they don't thank the left, who will go out of their way, unfortunately, way too much out of their way to help even shitty Democrats win. And, you know, this is why they get mad at Jimmy Dore, because Jimmy Dore calls out the truth about how weak the Democrats are. I mean, the left are, and how the Democrats just mistreats them. Just as 2020 Crystal Ball was saying when Ryan Grimjob earlier was lady enough to stand in for 2023 Crystal Ball with a turncoat Don video. Anyway, we'll listen to Kit and then I'll continue.
I want to see them cry. And is there an analysis behind this? No, it's just me being petty and vengeful. I never said I was the hero of the story. So old Harry says, people like Brianna Joy Gray are the worst of the left. Oh my goodness, she's the worst. They think voting green does anything positive. Trump, a proven abuser and 4-time indicted fraud, will likely be on the ballot, and you decide to act all high and mighty? Give me a break. Just put your red hat on already. Well, gee, Harry, I see you wearing your vote blue no matter who hat. You know, Biden's been on the...
And that's another thing. This attack on Brianna Joy Gray by a lot of shit libs out there. I mean, and there's been some racist tropes been used against Brianna Joy Gray, and she gets so much shit from a lot of people. Just kind of like it would be things like I've heard people refer to Brianna Joy Gray, and this is horrible. They have referred to her as Bernie Sanders' diamond and silk. They have referred to her as the Candace Owens of the left. I mean, they have said these horrible things about her. Cenk Uygur had her on TYT, The Conversation, and just was being a total asshole to her. I mean, and, just sitting there attacking her. And Bosch attacking her with these hateful comments toward her and everything. And when I listen to Brianna Joy Gray, I mean, I'm like, she is what a leftist should be. Do I agree with Brianna Joy Gray on every finite issue? No, I don't agree with her on every issue. I don't agree with Jimmy Dore on every issue. I don't agree with whomever. I don't agree with going back a decade. I don't agree with Chapo Trap House on every issue, or The Amazing Atheist, or anybody on any issue. And I don't expect people in my audience to agree with me on every finite issue. We're all complex individual human beings. But is Brianna Joy Gray more correct than she is wrong? She's significantly correct on pretty much 95% of the issues out there. That's a pretty good standing record. And for the people to attack her the way that they have attacked her, I mean, it just pisses me off. I mean, she seems like a very nice person. I mean, I'm like, yeah, Willie, you're sipping for her. I mean, I think she's attractive and all that, but that's not what it's about. I think that Brianna Joy Gray is awesome. Is she perfect? Nobody's perfect, but it just makes me angry and she's been correct, as I said, on 95% of everything I've ever heard coming out of Brianna Joy Gray. I've been more than impressed. She was the best part of the Bernie Sanders campaign in 2020 when I first heard of her, because she was urging Bernie Sanders not to endorse Joe Biden, at least until there are some major concessions. And she did not vote for Joe Biden. She did not vote for Hillary Clinton, and she will not vote for Joe Biden in 2024. She is a very, very independent woman. So, what's it? Xander Hall. He's another asshole that attacks her. It just some of these people that attack her, I'm just like, people, get over yourselves, But anyway, I will let Kit continue, then I'll conclude.
On the wrong side of history, right, Harry? I mean, he was against busing and desegregation. He didn't want his white kids to be with black kids. He worked with Republican segregationists, gave a eulogy to Strom Thurmond. He was against the civil rights movement, buddy. You do also know he was against Roe v. Wade. He felt that a woman didn't have a right to choose. And before anyone types in the comment section, well, he's changed. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He's the architect. Joe Biden's the architect of the crime bill. You want to know why we have the prison industrial complex? Because of Joe Biden. Even Bill Clinton apologized for that. And that's not saying much. I say apologize, air quote, air quote. He didn't really mean it. At least he put on the act of apologizing. Biden, no, he'll never apologize for that. You do realize that when Obama was president and Biden was VP, they could have done something to codify Roe v. Wade, but they didn't. Biden, who sided with credit card corporations to make student debt what it is. Biden, who voted for the war in Iraq. I mean, look, Harry, I get it. Trump lives rent-free in your head, buddy. But you sure know how to pick him. Going forward, again, Brianna Joy Gray writes, the DNC is paying this man to slander me basically because his chosen candidate is so weak and unpopular that he has no affirmative arguments to make in Biden's defense. All he can do is log on to smear those who want to vote for a progressive resident, a segregationist pal, whose own VP said she believed the Me Too allegations against him. That's right, Harry. There's not one accusations, but 8. But dare I say it, that number is probably a lot higher, Harry.
Not only that, a certain person had to move out of this country because of Joe Biden. A certain person by the name of Tara Reid. She had to leave the United States. So funny that a country that the United States is at odds with at the moment protects whistleblowers and are protecting people on free speech grounds. Isn't it funny? A country that's supposedly totalitarian, a country that has universal health care. The United States doesn't have it. Russia has it. A country that has multiple parties, a parliamentary system, and a more sophisticated democratic electoral system in their Duma. And we have two shitty parties here in the United States. So, I mean, things like that. Friend of the show, Nikki, Twitch streamers, told me that every worker in Russia gets 28 days off every year, guaranteed by the Russian government. Is mandated law. Everybody gets 28 days off from work. So, but Willie, they hate LGBTQ. Yeah, fuck Russia for hating LGBTQ. I agree. But you know what? They mistreat the LGBTQ people much worse. I don't know if that's grammatically correct, but in the Ukraine. That's a dirty little secret right there. It's much worse in the Ukraine. And it's an Eastern European thing. And I don't like the way that LGBTQ people are treated in Eastern Europe or in the Middle East or in Alabama or in Florida or anywhere where they're mistreated. So there's that.
Anyway, it's a free country. And you can vote green if you want, even if it makes white suburban Zoomers wet their Pampers on Maine. Good. You know what? And to all of you beautiful people watching, how many beautiful people are watching? All of you 353 beautiful people watching live right now, and maybe watching this video clip. I encourage you to vote how you feel. Support third parties, support independents, though. That's what I want to do.
And let me go ahead and do this here. And that's what I tell people myself when it comes to electoral actions, independent political action. I find myself totally independent, but I will tell anybody you do what you feel is best. Even if you feel like the two-party system is the way you want to go, I wish you wouldn't, but I'm not going to control how you vote. But you go do how you feel is best for you. But I will never, ever contribute at all. I mean, and I was still contributing with the part-time, I'm willing to support an AOC here, and I'm willing to vote for support of Paul Wellstone there. Well, here's the thing. Supporting a Paul Wellstone in the 1990s or supporting an AOC in the last 5 years, that's still not going to get you anywhere. Because all it did was it was still feeding the beast, referring to the Democratic Party, which is America's second conservative party, that where progressive left ideas go and die. And that's exactly what happened. So let's see here. So I'm going to be leaving here very soon. I'm going to talk to a few people here. I'm going to kind of pick and choose, and then I'm going to close off. So, yes, will the real Kyle Kulinski please stand up? Yeah, I want that old Kyle Kulinski back. This new Kyle Kulinski, take him back. Take him away. Bring back the old one. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. All right. Okay, and I see Choosy Heretics chooses Carnation Revolution now. Says, that's right, don't blame us old farts. Just look at that baby face. Yeah, well, a lot of boomers have caused a lot of problems, and I'm not that far away from being a boomer. I am Generation X, and a lot of us Generation X are kind of in the same boat with the millennials and Generation Z. However, we're probably in slightly better shape, but it seems like the younger generations just get progressively worse off, and unfortunately, that's the case. Lloyd Trackwell, how are you doing? Vosh is a douche, and yes, he is. Yes, he is. And Anna Kasparian was correct when she says, Vosh, you're garbage. Vosh. Oh, I'm sorry, Annika's birthing person. Yeah. So anyway, I am going to, let's see, Dinetta D, I see you there. Abolish political parties might not be a bad idea, by the way. Just saying. So I'm going to go conclude by saying this. Tonight at midnight, be sure to watch The Secret Show. Extra Boya, The Secret Show with Uncle Warren and Jimmy. Be sure to watch them. They're on every Saturday night, Sunday morning, Saturday night around midnight. So be sure to catch them live. And I'm going to put it down on the. I think I'm going to put that down on the description box below. So do that, and as well. Also. Be sure to watch Bragglands every Friday evening at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's with Jimi Sunderland and myself. What else is going on right now? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's going on at the moment. Right now, I can't think of what's going on at the moment. So let me just say that if you like what you heard, please press like and comment. Comment anyway. If you feel free to share it. Comment anyway, and feel free to share the content on this program. Also, as a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it because we're the muckrakers of our time. And be sure to subscribe to the Willie Bragg Show here on YouTube. Subscribe to Bragglands on YouTube. Subscribe to us on all the following platforms. You can also catch the Willie Bragg Show on Rumble. I am actually streaming on Rumble, sometimes successfully, sometimes not successfully. Then I end up catching up with those streams. So that's good. And always reject corporate media. And I am going to be signing off right now. And until next time, folks, I'll see y'all again soon. Take care. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.